Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis Podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find tuning into the Oasis Podcast. This is a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and watch us on YouTube now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Oasis Podcast. Today we have with us a returning guest, Miss Keanna. So if you all don't remember, Miss Keanna was actually on episode 10 of the podcast called Fear, Faith, Spirituality, and Life After Death. So Keanna, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you for having me back on the show again. It is a pleasure and honor. Always a good thing to be a reoccurring guest. And that means we got a good little feedback going. But if you guys don't know, my name is Keanna Hinds. I'm a nurse. I'm a mom, entrepreneur. I started a marketing company called Candy's Corner, who I'm now doing like a dual mom and me project with my daughter, trying to convert that into her marketing and her journalism, which is actually become a little bit fun. And I also have a foundation, the Tony Rose Foundation, which I started in 2018 after the untimely death of my mom. So do a lot of grief work, do a lot of fun stuff. Still a nurse, still cool. I'm all around. Okay.
And let's not forget the Leo power we got going on in this episode. I don't know, something about Leos. We always got our hands in so many freaking things. The energy is just all over the place, but that's another conversation. If you guys want to hear more about Keanna's story, you can also, again, go back and check out episode 10. But again, Keanna also has her own podcast, and go ahead and plug that in.
So I do have a podcast under the Tony Rose Foundation. I started a grief podcast. I wanted to have a safe space for us to speak about grief. My mom died in 2018. 2020 has been a crazy year filled with grief, which is totally unexpected. But when I started that podcast, there wasn't that many people who I could relate to in a sense. And I felt like grief was like that unknown, the sixth sense, I guess, in a sense that people don't really speak about. So I started up a platform, and we have actually started season 2 back up now, which is woohoo good. Hopefully my second episode I'll be running next week. But go check it out. We're on all streaming sites, Apple Music, podcasts, all the good stuff. Just look us up. Life After Death, the notorious GRIEF podcast series.
Yes, everyone, make sure y'all check that out. All right. So today, though, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. The last episode, we were definitely hitting on some topics. We talked on spirituality. We talked about grief. We talked about death. We talked about a ton of different things. This time, you are not only an entrepreneur, you are also a mom, you're a woman, you are a homeowner, you got a whole bunch of other things going on top of your 3 million businesses. And so I wanted to touch on that. Let's talk about that other aspect of Keanna, but also just on a lot of things that I think not only women, because actually half of my listeners are actually men, just talking about things that as us now, we're in our 30s, right? We are now full-blown adults, and there are things that we are now experiencing that we probably weren't ready for, we probably didn't fully think about, or we're not really talking about, or some of us are starting to get ready for those things, and it's good to kind of just talk in here and see kind of what to expect. So I've had a few episodes talking about my home buying journey. You and I have talked about it a few times, and I feel like the last time we mentioned it, you were also on your way to purchasing your first home. And so I know you've already done that. We just attended your housewarming. Okay, right? Which was a vibe. So I feel like it would be a great time to also talk about what's that journey was like for you. I talked about mine. I'm still on there. I still haven't gotten my house, but you went ahead and you were able to kind of execute and get your things done and handled. So talk to us about how that was.
Well, it wasn't easy. What they say, all good things that you usually want aren't easy to attain. I mean, the first step was, of course, getting pre-approved. I think that is like the big whoa factor for a lot of people, because it's like, wow, the bank is actually saying they're allowing me to use this money to do something with it. I sat on that for a while till it like almost got expired. So I know like the homeowner journey for everyone is different. I think fear is the number one, factor that usually slows down the pace or even speeds it up for some people. For me, when I actually realized the pre-approval was expiring, although technically it doesn't expire, but don't quote me on that. But I started getting fearful, and I felt like, I sort of was blessed with this opportunity. I finally got my credit to a point that I actually got approved. Didn't even think, I was just trying my luck. Wasn't even like really trying. And and I was like, okay, so I'm actually at the point that I am. Should I pursue this or should I wait? And I sort of moved with it. I wanted to get out. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Boop, boop, Brooklyn, Flatbush, what's up? Y'all know what it is, right? But again, I came through a lot. I've been through a lot. 2018, I went through a lot of trauma. I'm actually learning about traumatic grief right now, and it's crazy because a lot of things I'm learning about is what I am doing right now, which is bananas.
But that's actually the push now. Since I work in school, so that's the huge push now with kids going back to school, training teachers and staff about trauma.
Yeah. Because it's a whole different ball game. It's way different than when Granny, died with dementia at 90. You hold her hand. It's a whole different mindset. Hence, me wanting to get out of Brooklyn. Like my mind was, I just needed to get out. I felt like I always wanted to leave Brooklyn. My mom was a Brooklynite. She was Flatbush girl. If y'all know, living in Flatbush is lit because it's a train right there. Everything is accessible. If you're from the Caribbean, that is a dream come true. Yeah. If you come to visit you, it's like gold mine, right? Like you live right here. So my mom never wanted to move. Like her passing, me trying to like branch off and, find a new life for me in a sense, or a new journey. It was the right timing. I think location is also a big factor for a lot of people between the taxes and all that. You got to work out the regulations. But I feel like if you are stuck on a location and that's where you want to move to, stick with it. Like, don't be fearful of, the prices of things and things like that. You will find the one that you want for yourself. Like, I think that people have to sort of stick with that. Another tip I just learned last week, which I wish I did it, was he said, don't be fearful and feel like this is all you can afford. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people get stuck in a bracket, they give you this pre-approval and say, this is all you're worth. You know what I mean? And then you go searching for, what you're worth. But sometimes, if you look for what you actually want, there's little loopholes, there's things that could happen, and it may just work in your favor. So that was another tip I heard last week. So I would like to mention that for everybody because
that's important to know, because I will talk offline. But that's actually important to know, because sometimes when you are looking, and I do want to backtrack a little bit, but sometimes when you are looking, they give you this, this is the only thing you could afford. And I'm like, what am I buying with this, right? Or you can find anything that's in that price range and you feel so discouraged. Do you know what I mean? And so that's actually a really good thing. So let's backtrack a little bit. So let's talk about the process. How long from you said your pre-approval was about to expire. So how long from you're like, I got to use this thing, you actually getting the keys in your hand?
So I got pre-approved, I'll say I closed in December, but I got pre-approved maybe March, April, let's say March, April, February, March. And I think it was expiring in March. And that's when I started actually looking. When I went and followed up, they were like, oh yeah, it's expiring, but it's not. Like they sort of gave me that reassurance. Once you let them know that you're still looking and you're adamant, everybody's going to be fine. Like it's not as scary as it is. So I'll say about 9 months, right? What's that? 6 or 7, 6, 3.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
About 9 months, yeah, for the most part. It's stressful. It's stressful. It's a lot. It's just a lot of dotting I's and crossing T's. I don't like speaking to cops, and like even though I'm not doing anything illegal, and I don't like speaking to like banks, even though I'm not doing. But it's like that fear. You know what I mean? It's just like, hello.
You want them in your business, pretty much, right? Like you feel like they judging you and stuff.
And the banks they know, like it's out there. It's like, that Sprint from 1995. That Sprint bill, like, it's like, you got all that on the table. So that's like the aspect. It's like you're so vulnerable and everything's just sitting there. But you find a good mortgage broker. I think that's key. Finding a good realtor. I had a crappy realtor. I don't know if you're watching this. I doubt it. But he was
the truth is the truth.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
My mortgage broker was really good and insightful. And ask questions, ask questions, ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can't stress that enough. I feel like I'm still asking questions in my brain right now. Like, shit, I should really should have asked. What else you want to know about the?
So, I mean, you know, we're talking about a few things in this episode. So not to stay on this one topic too much, but unless, you know, maybe listeners, they want some more info, maybe we can do one that just talks about this process, because I'm not done with it yet. So maybe, you know, but I think, I don't know if I gave up. Did I give an update? I did give an update. I feel like I did. I'm not sure. But those of you who didn't catch that episode, so I have taken a break from buying a home, and it happened right before COVID. So it's like my spirit just knew, girl, stop. I was getting there though. I was really getting there, and I had I feel like 3 deals fall through. After that first one, my heart was broken. At the last 2, I was kind of just like,
that's another thing too, the bitters. What? Why do you want my house?
Yeah, like it on one end, for me, it was just like being pulled in different directions. On one end, because to me personally, I don't have any kids, and I was doing this process on my own. And on one end, it was like, oh, you make too much money to get these things. But then on the other end, I felt broke as hell, because it's like, you ain't got enough money for this.
Which is crazy.
To me, it was very stressful. And so you mentioned it being stressful for you as well. For you, what was the most stressful part, you think?
Because I was doing it on my own, and like I said, I sort of like did the pre-approval, just seeing if I, you know, could get the process. It was like, oh shit, this is about to hit. I gotta get this money together, like, you know. And then I don't have a mom and dad, you know. With most people who are moving, I mean, I don't quote, everybody has a different journey, but you got that assistance, you know what I mean? Like, at least, you know, mommy, I don't have that. I fought a lot about thinking if I was doing the right choice, you know, making the right choice, especially leaving my comfort zone. I have a 5-year-old daughter. She has family and stuff there as well, you know, so it's like uprooting everything. That was a big stress, the pros and cons. And then her schooling was another big stress, which I'm still dealing with, but COVID sort of messed everything up. So I was like, it's weird, because everything sort of happened, you know, works out really well. Like, so she's homeschooling, so it works.
So you don't have as much commuting to go back.
Right. Because to me, it was the interaction with the other kids and stuff. So now it's like, great, I got this.
Now you got a little bit of a break, right? Just a little bit.
But the big stress was definitely the money. Like, feeling like, you know, I'm about to give this big chunk, you know, of money that first of all I didn't even know I had, you know, and then it's like, what? Now I'm doing this. How am I gonna get it back? Like, you know, for most first timers, you are borrowing from you know, a bank account or something. Unfortunately, we're not the generations that have gifted a lot of things to us, right? Like, you know, it's a lot of other ethnicities and things that they gift them, you know, closing costs and gift them, you know, all these things. So I feel like it's really, that fear has made me feel like it's really important for me to set stuff right for my daughter. So when she has hers, I can, girl, you good. Like, I don't want you to be fearful. Like, it shouldn't be, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, absolutely right. So you mentioned it, that giving away that money, for those who don't know what the process is. So in buying a home, not only you have a down payment, because I think that's what's talked about the most, is you need down payment. However, that's just the start. Because there's down payment while you're looking for a house. You got to pay for inspections. You got to pay for all these other things that they need to check for, depending on what state you're in, depending on where you're located. There's different things that you have to do. There's lawyer costs that you got to pay. There's searching titles and deeds and all kind of stuff. And then there's closing costs, which some of these things are encompassed in, depending on the bank, depending on the process that you go. But it's a good chunk of money you need to have. And then you're still borrowing from the bank. That shit is stressful.
Last month they usually like if you move in December, it won't be due until like February. So you have like that month, that, you know, anxious month of trying to get your mortgage together, because my lawyer was like, oh yeah, first time you guys are drained. That's why he kept saying at the end, you're drained. So I'm like, a reminder.
Yeah. For you, how's it been maintaining that? Like the monthly, like, have you gotten used to it yet? Or
surprisingly, I've been maintaining. Surprisingly, like, by the grace of God, Originally, when you first sign a paperwork and you look at the numbers and you're like, yeah, I can afford it. I just got to cut down a few things. But you don't really realize how much things you sort of have to cut down and sort of maneuver to make, things work. I mean, it's been a month or two that I've fronted, like I paid my mortgage and was shot, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to make sure it was covered. And then we got a couple noodles, you know what I mean, for the week or whatever. I'll wait till I get some more money. So there's always moments like that, but I still feel secure to know that my shit was paid, right? Like my mortgage is paid for the month. So I'm 2 months, I'm 3 months shy of a year, but I'm still a survivor. Like, I even got in the car and everything, and I felt crazy about doing that too, because I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I shouldn't be trying to. But you gotta embrace and not go with fear and know that God got you, because he definitely, if he took you this far, he's not gonna take you. He's not gonna leave you. So
yes, honey. Yeah. So you already mentioned having a daughter and going through this process. So how was that?
So like I did a lot of this. Surprisingly, this year I realized I didn't shop. Like I shopped out of my closet this year. I barely, shopped like that. Granted, though, COVID helped a lot, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't going nowhere anyway. But, like, I realized that I haven't really shopped, this year. I took a step back from that. Vacations, she's been, like, egging me because she's, like, a vacation baby. So that's all she knows. So COVID helped with that, too. Thank God. Like, I feel like the only thing is, like, little blessings. But I knew already that I was going to have to take a step back from that. With that, I think that main adjustment, you know what I mean? Because I was coming from a 1-bedroom in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Paying a fraction of what I'm paying now to try to get that adjustment. And letting her realize that things are going to change, but like, give me some time,
So you talked her through the process?
For the most part. Like, look, we ain't going nowhere.
Right. See the life we were living before?
Yeah, we So, but yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's something new. So kids are always going to embrace, and go with the flow. We moved into a bigger place. I'm in a condo, so I'm not in the house, but it's like a townhouse. But coming from a 1-bedroom, it's just like, Eureka for her. So she embraces it. She has her moments of like missing Brooklyn, but we still go back here and there. Still have a few friends in the building. So she's okay.
So she's adjusted well. Did you walk her through the process in the sense of like, when you went to look at places, did you take her with you, or you kind of like surprised her?
So I took her with me, and she basically was the deciding factor for this house too, because I had like a lot of spiritual connections to the house. She was the deciding factor. Although now she tells me like, it's another house a few blocks down. Oh, mommy, I want this house. No.
That's not how it works.
You pick this one. Like, this is where we live in. That's it. Like, so she for the most part, she was walked through from the beginning, so she knew what it was.
Okay, that's good. So on top of being a business owner, you are also a mom. Well, you're a nurse, you're a mom, right? And let's throw another title, because we can claim this. Singleness. It's okay to claim that we single, right? Like you and I be like back and forth on IG with these memes and shit, just laughing and kikiing about stuff, about being single and stuff like that. So for me, when I was looking for a home, I was in a relationship at the time. I had looked for a home and been single, and that shit was not fun. And I ain't had no child. Being with somebody when I was going through the process made it feel a little bit better, even though he was stressful as fuck too. But anyway, it made it feel better. So for you, like, what has that whole process been? Was it like, I'm just looking for a home, I'll think about my singleness at another time? Were you dating while you was doing all this? Like, how does all that kind of come into play?
So ironically, when I first started looking for places, I was dating. Well, I think this was before my pre-approval too. You can look at places before pre-approval. FYI, you can go and some people, you got $1 million pre-approval and go look at mansions. Like they're gonna take you, girl. Like just go get your feet wet. So I think I was doing that, but the guy I was talking to, he was irritating me at the time. I mean, it was a nice vibe because it feels like the family thing. Like, oh yeah, this, that, and other, but my heart wasn't really there. Now because I guess because I was moving from trauma, to me it was just like a fresh, like I literally did not think about my singleness until after the fact. And then I was like, what the fuck did I do? Because now y'all niggas ain't never gonna talk to me. What? what did I do? What did I do? Like,
girl, you out there. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, remember when I got to your house, I was like, sis. I mean, it's nice, but sis. Yo, that's just long distance if you another borough. Like, I can't. Like,
I mean, we're gonna come out here, but I was
if
looking.
he committed, he will. Okay.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, for the most part, I was just looking at, and then I was even thinking about guys at home. I'm also looking for a fresh start, like where let's see what's around me. Because obviously, no offense to the Brooklyn guys, if anybody's looking at me thinking I'm cute, you can still holler at me. But I'm just saying, whack. I'm looking for something brand new, okay? Like, so change of environment, change of pace. God willing, will just bring the change, the change energy that I need. So, but it's not easy. It's not, especially like, I mean, so my thing right now, because I'm just getting out of speaking to someone too right now, is understanding that where I am is not like where they are. And then they don't have to do, certain things or move certain ways with me because of where I am,
That's
but
what I was going to ask you.
But it's like irritating because you sort of know you know your worth, and you're sitting there just like, yo, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but what you gonna do about that? And if they're not willing to, meet me where I am now, that's where I am. So
no, you actually 100% right. Like, I think being equally yoked is important, and let's just be real about it. Financially, life-wise, like, you have to be equally yoked. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be exactly on the same level as me, but you can at least match me in some way, somehow, right? And so what I was going to ask you is, because before I met my now ex, I was, when I was looking for a home, I felt like when I was talking to guys and telling them, oh yeah, I'm fit to buy a house, like boom, 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 I felt like it was a deterrent. I feel like some people was like, oh, word? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Talk to me one time. I was like, he said something, and I mentioned like something about a house, and he was like, oh, you got a house? I was like, yeah. He's like, where? And I swear he blocked me.
Wow. I don't know. Well, damn. Like, but I mean, I don't know if I've been blocked. I mean, I might have. I probably just did.
I didn't hear from him again, so, and I wasn't gonna reply.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, but I definitely feel like it was a deterrent. I think it definitely was just like, oh shit, word. And I think even in my last relationship, because essentially I was buying a home on my own, right? Like, it wasn't like, yeah, we together, but this ain't that, right? So there was still some tension and contention between us about the fact of, like, one, him giving opinion about stuff, because if you ain't putting them dollars down,
right.
And two, like, just being the fact that, like, yeah, I'm at this space where I can do that, and then being with somebody who's just not there, and it's not, you're just not there. It's fine. Like, I'm ready. I've been ready. I've been building myself up for years, but you're not there. And so it causes this weird vibe. You know what I'm saying? So that's also what I wanted to touch on with you. Like, how has that come into play? Like, you said you just got out of something, but in, like, getting to know people or dating people, you feel it's a huge thing?
It is. I mean, for the right ones on the right level, it's not, like the guy I'm getting out of, he had like a whole, I don't know, huge house with like a huge pool, so to my little condo looked like nothing, so like that's where I need to be at, unfortunately. Like, it's like I have to look for people a little bit higher up than me that, see my worth, you know what I mean, and see like, oh, okay, so you definitely hit on the point about having something of the same, even if it's not financially, at least the same mindset. You hit it too with the whole, like, if you're not putting no money down, your opinion don't really count, but it does help out when he needs to, help with the plunging or something in the house. But I think for me right now, where I am, I mean, I'm not looking for anything. I'm sort of like deterred all away from relationships and men right now. I've been praying on it a lot, but this might be, my happiness right now is a lot for me. Like, and I'm trying to keep it, and if I can make myself this happy, then, God better send the right guy. I'm not going to look anymore, and I'm not going to inquire. It's a lot. It's draining, and now I have so much to offer You know what I mean? I don't want to risk so much. And then my daughter is just like, I have a lot to offer. If you guys not gonna at least meet me halfway, then like, what's the point? Like, I might as well just break my arms.
Girl, you absolutely right, girl. In regard like therapy as well as like some spiritual guidance and work that I've been doing, what's been a common theme, because I've been having like the same, I've talked to you about it, like, girl, don't give up, right? You're like, girl, not right now. And I understand that, I respect it. But I think what the theme that the message has been continuously told to me is that, of course, if you don't feel ready, don't do it, right? And as you you grow yourself, you build yourself, you put yourself on a different vibration. And those that are there are going to meet you there. You don't have to go looking for it. You're going to attract it. So, you know what? Like, if it ain't it, it ain't it. And right now, you need to focus on doing what you need to do for yourself, for your child. Like, that makes perfect sense. Because if you're trying to pull at straws, things ain't going, like, it just ain't going to work out the way you want to if you're forcing it. Yeah.
Video I seen on Instagram. You follow Dollhouse Pretty? I think her name is from Brooklyn, China. It's this business owner. But she does like her little live moments. And she was like, sis, that man ain't going nowhere. She was like, fix your house. Go change your curtains. Go get your hair done. That man ain't going nowhere. Worry about you. They ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you. Like, and they're not, so trying to wrap my head around all the other stuff that keep me going and ticking. They're crazy.
Yeah, because finding a man ain't hard. It's about finding a quality man. That's where it becomes difficult.
That's the problem. Like, when you know your worth, boy, that third eye got you, like, it's spirit be like, what are you doing?
Like, literally shake your ass. What are you doing? You're like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me catch myself. But we laughing, but this shit is real. Like, when your ass is out of alignment, fam, like, shit just be, like, everything be poking at you and telling you that you fucking up. But if you ain't like me, I just be sitting there and be like, but let's wait and see what happens, though. When everything's telling you, stop that shit.
Give it one more time, right?
Girl. But, you mentioned, so I don't, you say you have your condo. I currently have a co-op. And mine is like, I got a one little bedroom, you know what I'm saying? Even for me, the fact is I'm still responsible with doing a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still trying to paint my bedroom. I've been trying to paint my bedroom for like 2 months now. Like, and I did some other work around the house. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is fine. But having to do shit for yourself or having to be responsible for shit is not fun. Yeah. How's the process been for you, sis?
Girl, let's just say the household been sped up a lot of shit. I feel like I did so much that Friday before the household. But the good thing is that I've heard reassuringly, it takes time. Nothing is gonna happen overnight. I have, like, my lawyer's like, he just did over his kitchen and he's been in the house 6 years or some craziness. Like, I have a friend that's living room been empty. She just got a couch, she's been living here 3 years. Like, so everybody, it's all about taking your time, Like, I like to say I was living like a caveman in a condo for a minute. Like, nobody even know it was real in here. But, it was great. Like, it was mine. It is what it is. I know eventually it'll be filled. And my boss told me a really good quote. Like, she was like, enjoy the empty space because it will be filled. And this is the only time you'll ever have this moment. You know what I mean? So, like, this is what, like, me and Kenny was sleeping downstairs in the living room on the floor and stuff like that. I'm like, that's very true because it won't ever be like this. So baby steps. I don't really stress it. Now I feel like, I got my couch and I ordered a bedroom set. Hopefully it comes the end of the month. COVID put everything like delayed. Oh, I ordered I just got a shout out to whoever gave me the Home Depot gift cards. My fridge yesterday is coming in November.
Oh, nice. I redid my kitchen during COVID. Yeah, all of a sudden I wanted to be Mrs. Fixer Upper. That shit is a pretty penny. You know what I'm saying?
All the little stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So that home stuff is not a freaking joke. On top of having to pay a damn mortgage. Okay.
That may sound crazy, but that's the only reason why I want a man. Because y'all, the help is so lit. In 2 seconds. I'm like, you know how long I was working on that? Like, trying to doing this and that. Like, that's
you find someone who actually knows how to do shit.
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys that don't know how to do shit.
I know.
And I've been with guys where I'm more handy so than they are. Like I redid my whole kitchen by myself. Like I redid my kitchen. Like I repainted, I put up stuff, I took down walls. I like not walls, but like shelves and did all that shit. I did that shit by my damn self. People was like, you did it by yourself. Yes. I can't wait for some magical man to come. And then I've had men before and they can't do shit. Like, so, you know? But nah, it is convenient when they can do stuff. That shit is nice. Even taking out the garbage, you know?
Yeah, facts. But there's always there's a will, there's a way. There's always like handyman's available. XYZ. I rocked the day of my the housewarming. I had blew a fuse. I told you. Front of the house.
Yeah.
Came and helped, and the white guy came and helped me fix the shit. You know, there's little things, there's twerks and stuff. Gotta be grateful, but it would be really handy. Like,
hey, boo. Hey, my sink is clogged. What up? Back on the go and do that shit. That shit is so. Yeah. What you gotta do. Toilets, pipe. Oh, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, throughout this whole process, what do you feel were the main things that you learned that you feel that you wish you knew before you started?
Definitely do more research on. I feel like when you find your spot, your place, it's going to be whatever reason why you're picking it, right? So whatever the reason may be, do some more research about like, you know, the area where you go and XYZ. I was so like spiritually caught up with this house with the little spiritual stuff that I did not do more research about like the whereabouts and things like that, you know? Let's see. Figuring out your taxes and stuff, making sure that you can actually afford to pay them. Mm-hmm. They are due. And if they're going to be working to your mortgage and things like that, that's a big one. I closed at the end of the year, so my 2020 taxes were fronted. So that's like a FYI, little things like that. Well, the difference between a condo and a house, like everybody should do their research because condos come with condo fees. So it's a little bit less maintenance when it comes to like, you know, home ownership because the condo fees take up some of it. Bullshit, but that's just my word. You know, that's my
it's just another way to take your cash. That's what that is.
Nothing happening. And just going with your gut, you know, and not letting fear dictate it so much. You know what I mean? Because I think I would have held back on a lot if I had let fear hold it down. So I'm happy I took the leap of faith. I don't feel like this is my ending result. I feel like this is just a step.
Yeah.
Can't wait till my husband find me so we get into our mansion. Come on, baby. I know you can.
Let's call it into existence, sis. I feel it. It's gonna happen. Okay, it's gonna happen.
I cannot.
But you know, the beauty of it all though is that you can do it and you did do it. You know what I mean? Like some people are so afraid to take a step like that by themselves, and you did it by yourself, but like with a whole human being, like a whole extra human being. Right? A lot of people, they wait until they're married to do it, or they wait until they're like just way older to do it. But you were able to step out a leap of faith and do it. And not only just do that, you've been maintaining. It's about to be a whole year. Like you've been doing it. So that's kudos. And I say that, I had to tell myself that, and also talk to, you know, other people when I talked about this experience is like, regardless if I fail, I'm still going to try. You know what I mean? Like, even if I fail, I learned something. And that's what I learned all 2019, a little bit into this year. Like, I fell on my face a lot with a lot of things, but I learned so much. And so now next go around, like, I'll be like, I got this. I'm more fortified now. You know what I mean? And of course, having conversations with people who, like you, who's done it already, who's doing it. You know, for me, knowledge makes me feel more confident. So the more I learn, the more I get, I'm like, all right, oh yeah, I was told about this. Oh yeah, I did hear about this. And so I'm ready to do this. Come 2021, I'm out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying? COVID or not.
Didn't the rates drop for COVID, right? Like, what's going on with the market? You haven't even looked back in since.
I haven't looked.
Someone told me the rates dropped like 2.0 or something. I'm like, what?
It's super low. It's super low. And they said that it's going to be like this, though, at least for another year or two, to be honest.
Then it's no rush.
Right. There is no rush. And I can't do things in rush. I can't do. Like, it doesn't sit well with me as an individual. My spirit, it don't. So for me, it's like, it's going to be time when it's time for me. Like, that's it. Like, I say it's going to be January 2021. That's when I'm going to start. Whatever the rates are then, that's what the fuck it's going to be. Like that. And that's what I'm going to work with. And I'm going to move on. But till then, just keep stacking these chips so I don't feel like I'm broke when I go back out there. You know what I'm saying?
And Brooklyn? You want to stay in Brooklyn? No.
Afford no goddamn Brooklyn. Even after COVID, I can't afford no damn Brooklyn. But I want to change the atmosphere. I love Brooklyn. Don't get it twisted, but I'm over it. Like, I want grass. I want front yard. I want a backyard. You know what I'm saying? I want space. I want to feel away. So,
like, you know, I have my weekends when I come back, like every other weekend or so, and it feels amazing every time. Like, I miss it, but it's like it's still there. You know, I'm only out. I know Brooklyn people make me feel like I'm 10 hours away. I'm only an hour away. But I tell it, I'm 10 hours, whatever. But it's not that bad. Change the atmosphere is not a bad thing at all. We all need some fresh air. So we grew up in the concrete jungle. Y'all want to breathe? Like,
perfect. Oh my gosh. No, you're absolutely right. And I'm over the concrete jungle. But I am afraid. I'm not going to hold you. Like, fear was a big thing for me. So I think since I've stopped and where I'm at now, I've let go of the fear. But the fear of, like, being away from my family, like, I would be completely away from other people. Like, I was thinking about moving into a complete different state. And I would be the only one, you know, of my immediate family there. So that was a big thing. But at the same time, I'm like, yes, let's do that. Like yes. Like, that's okay.
That was, Atlanta was a up and running option for me. But I didn't want to go to Atlanta because I was a single mom. I didn't want to go because of the high, dense population of
mm-hmm. That's a thing, girl. That's a thing.
I don't want to react, and I was just a little bit too paranoid. Like, you know, it's gonna be this one guy come around, and then I don't need to hear no stories. So,
but that's important. These are all things to think about. Crime rates. Think about just a lot of stuff. Yes. It takes a lot. Yeah.
But I commend you for keep pushing.
I'm gonna do it. I'm motivated. I've been stacking these chips, so my bank account looking real nice. Thank you, COVID. And I'm gonna get it done. So, any last words that you want to share with the listener?
Let's see. I guess stay focused. I think you know, our theme on here was like, don't let fear, you know, dictate your future or anything like that. So, and keep pushing. That's been my slogan for this year, for the most part. We got to keep pushing. I think keeping our goals aligned and not letting all of 2020, like, you know, hurdle us with everything that's going on, and staying focused on it is what's going to keep us afloat and make those dreams come true. So, in your house next year, sis. I'm coming to the housewoman. I can't wait.
Please. It's happening. It's going down. And so, drop your handles, drop where people can find you.
My personal handle is Keep Killing Them Keep, but I don't know where the underscores is at. Let me check it right now. But you can also find me at Toni Rose Foundation on Instagram, TONIROSE Foundation. Also, Kendi's Corner, which is my marketing with my daughter. She's super cute. Go check her out on YouTube as well. KNDIS.
She lost her teeth. Oh my gosh.
They took it forever to come into. KENDISKORNER. So Kendi's Corner with a K. And Keep Killing Them Key is keep _killing them KILLINEM_KE. But you'll probably find me in Kendi's Corner better. Thank you for having me, though.
Thank you for joining me again. I appreciate you, girl. Bye.
Have a good one.
Today's Connection Corner. I read you a post from Stardust Poetry. It reads, your entire life can really change in a year. You just gotta love yourself enough to know you deserve more. Be brave enough to demand more, and be disciplined enough to actually work for more. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis Podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. Rate us and leave us a review and comment on Apple Podcasts or iTunes and YouTube. Share your favorite episode and like us on Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, want to be a guest, or have show ideas, contact us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. That's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram or Facebook.